out of Ohio State. You already mentioned DJ Moore. They have Devin Funchess. Greg Olson's really good. I like the offense, and they always have a very good defense. And Ron Rivera's a heck of a coach. I think that's an easy bet. I can't believe they're giving me odds on the over. I'm taking that without a second thought.
No, I agree. We already talked about the Panthers and how good they are offensively, how many weapons they have. And again, Cam Newton is going to have another big season. Had a really good year last year. I think 10 wins for them is definitely accomplishable. I like this pick, Alex.
Okay, I'm going to blast through these next ones quickly. I have the over on the Chiefs, 8.5. They're giving minus 125, so the public thinks that it's going to happen. Last year they were 10-6, and Andy Reid has won at least 9 games every single year he's been the Chiefs coach, and I think their offense is as good as it has ever been while he's been there. My record for them this year is 12-4. I love the Chiefs this year. I think they easily clear 8.5. The next one, Vikings, 10.5, minus 120. So again, the public as well as Vegas thinks that that's probably going to happen. They were 13-3 last year. I think they go 13-3 again. I have no idea how they don't cover 10.5. They went 13-3 with their third string quarterback last year. So that one's pretty easy for me. This one's a little debatable, but I believe in this team. The Seahawks, their over-unders at 7.5. Plus 110, so the odds are on the under. I'm taking the over. They were 9-7 last year. I think they go 9-7 again. Yes, Richard Sherman's gone. Yes, Earl Thomas is holding out. Yes, Cam Chancellor retired. But you still have Russell Wilson, and that man is worth a bunch of wins. Pete Carroll's a really good coach. I think they figure it out. And again, the odds are in our favor. My last one, the Jets, their over-unders at 6. I'm taking the under. It's minus 120. They were 5-11 last year. I have them going 4-12 this year. Rookie Sam Darnold's going to start, and I just don't know if he's good enough to get them above 6. Like, I just don't think that. And they don't have the weapons, too. I mean, Isaiah Crowell's their starting halfback. Robbie Anderson's a good receiver, but is he a good receiver? I don't know. So
Jets have issues.
Yeah, it's weird. Those are team over-unders. Quickly, I'll go over my player prop bets. I have the over on Russell Wilson passing yards this year, which is at 3,850. Over the last 3 years, he's beaten that. And he's played 16 games every year of his career in his 6 seasons. I think that's a pretty easy bet.
Doug Baldwin's not that healthy.
He's not on the injury report week 1, which actually gave me a lot of confidence to pick this. I'm going there. Kirk Cousins, his over-under for passing yards is 4,075. His average the last 3 seasons is almost at 4,400 yards.
That's easy money.
He's played 16 games every single year. I'm picking that. I hate that I have all overs because these overs rarely, if ever, hit, but I'm doing it. Dalvin Cook rushing yards is at 1,099.5 yards. Last year, he was on pace to have 1,400. He had 354 yards through 4 games. That's a homer pick, but I'm taking it.
Just going to say.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Smells like a homer pick.
And then the last one is Alvin Kamara. His over-under for total rushing yards, 900.5. I thought that was crazy. Last year, again, with Peterson and Mark Ingram starting, he didn't get a lot of attempts, but in 120, he had 728 yards on 6.1 yards per carry, which is ridiculous. He will not repeat that. But this year, if he gets 200 attempts, which I think he will, when you look at split backfields over time, typically both backs get around 200 carries. Teams can rush the ball 500 times in a season. If he gets 200 attempts and averages even 5 yards per carry, he gets to 1,000. So feel good about all those. Look at player prop bets. They're fun to look at. If you have a home team, take them. That's what we got, ladies and gentlemen. There's the Flo's betting guide to the NFL season plus week 1. We'll end with one thought. Rick, what's yours, man?
We went to the state fair last weekend. Woohoo! Did some Minnesota things. And I had my first Sweet Martha's cookie. Very good, but only when it's fresh. Mm-hmm. Okay, but more on this. So in the fair, you were the one that went and got the cookies. So I'm sitting back with a couple buddies, and I'm looking around. I'm like, what's all this like black stuff on the ground? And it was cookies. Cookies that people dropped because they give you way too many in this giant bucket. So you walk out, you fumble all your cookies, they fall on the ground, and then what happens is people... Well, the entire time at the fair, people's awareness levels are way down. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody's aware of anything. People are stomping all over these cookies. So I'm looking around and I said, boy, this looks like Sweet Martha's graveyard. That's my one thought.
My one thought.
Check your shoes.
I have 2 this week. 1, be aggressive to do stuff outside because winter is coming. It's actually coming. It's 69 out right now, but it feels like it's 40. I have my sweater on and sweatpants, and I'm thoroughly comfortable. My other one thoughts, Brandon Morton, our wonderful producer, he has tape over his laptop on the video feed, and he talked about how, before we started this podcast, it's incredibly easy to get hacked, someone hacking into your camera. And so, ladies and gentlemen, cover your camera. I'm going to do it. All the cool kids are doing it. So do that. And also, if you're not aware, you've probably seen pictures of Brandon at the live shows, which we've started to do across all of our Talk North Podcast Network shows. I asked him, why is he growing out? Why is his hair long? He's doing it for love for locks. He had an injury, figured, hey, why not just grow it out? So Brandon Morton, one of the best producers in the business,
the flow,
giving us insight on how to protect our personal security on the cameras, and he's also donating hair. It's Talk North Podcast Network, everybody. Unbelievable. Rick, episode 22? 22. Stamped and sealed. And before we sign off, again, Punchbowl Social, they're on the West End. You can do corporate events there. If you want to go hang out with friends, it's great for happy hour. On weekends, you can hang out there all night. Again, bowling, bocce ball, adult milkshakes. They have everything. We had a live show there last week. It was a bunch of fun. We hope to have more there in the future. Greg Mulrinen is the general manager there. Great guy. We had him on last week to talk about all the things happening at Punchbowl Social again on the West End, the Minneapolis store they call it, but it's really in Spring Lake Park, or excuse me, St. Louis Park. And, you know, they have a bunch of craft beers. They have non-alcoholic beverages as well. Their juice list is absolutely insane. Again, corporate events, they do a bunch there. If you're a corporate person, you want to have your people out for a great time, it's an amazing spot. If you're with friends or family, go there. Punchbowl Social, go out right, man. It's an amazing place. Rick, got anything else before we sign off?
Have the Van Dam at Punchbowl. It's great. It's got cognac. It's got house-made pear syrup in there. It's a good time.
I had the El Macho, and just make sure you get it in a low ball, or else they kind of put it in a fancy glass. It's called the El Macho, but you don't feel very macho drinking it in that fancy glass. So just ask the bartender for a low ball, and you'll be good. That's episode 22 for Rick Palermo, our online engineer and producer, Brandon Morton, and our special thank you to DJ Brain Power, as well as everyone at the Talk North Podcast Network. My name is Alex Zappa, and thank you for catching the flow.